What is up, everybody? I'm Blaze, your host of Gears Unlimited. Guys, this is going to be our San Diego recap episode. If you didn't get a chance to watch the event, don't worry about it. We got you. But guess what? Spoiler alert, it was awesome. We got Solars coming through from NRG. He'll be giving you guys his thoughts of the event. We'll be also talking about who was hot, who was not. We had some surprising dark horses as well. And we also had a lot of side events happening. The 2v2, the free fall. We'll let you know the winners of those as well. So make sure you strap yourself in. It's gonna be a good one. Now let's talk day one of Gears San Diego. We had the best Gears Award players from around the world flying in to Southern California. We started off on Friday with an open bracket and a Swiss stage. We had 4 teams come from the winner side of the open bracket and 4 teams come from the loser side of the open bracket to get slotted into our championship bracket Saturday evening. Now, our Pro League teams, they played all throughout Friday and a little bit on Saturday morning to get their seeding in that championship bracket. So let's talk how the results went. Now for Friday, to kick off our group stages, our first match was Rise versus Regal. The French boys looking to come out and make a statement. The number 2 best team in the European region and our 3rd best team from North American Division Alpha. These guys came out, but it was Rise Nation who got the tournament started right. They come out for a hot win. Next, we had Astral versus Hive. Now Hive, we know how talented these boys are. Always coming out, forcing these team fights, looking to get in your face. But Astral, for the first time, they show us something special. They show us what they're all about. They're wolf packing across the map, picking off players left and right. It was something that we did not expect, but Astral, they made a statement. 2-0 against Hive. Next, Ghost versus Simplicity, your best team in Latin America versus the 2nd best team in North American Division Bravo. These guys, this is a matchup in which it was a lot we wanted to see. How ready are these teams for the tournament? It was a close one, but as we go the distance, Dezenai for Ghost Gaming takes the game in his hand. We see him make some flashy plays with that sniper, brings the momentum full circle back to Ghost Gaming, and they come out and they close out the series. NRG versus Rise. Rise Nation, they come out hot to set a statement against NRG. And then at this point, we're looking like, man, it's NRG. They're looking a little shaky to start. But then the IGL and Explosives gets the team back together. And this was the NRG in which we wanted to see. Playing from behind, they come back and put on a show for the fans. And they take the matchup against Rise Nation. EU's Finest versus Reciprocity. We head into map number 1. EU's Finest, they come out commanding the pace of the game. But Rec, too calm, too composed. They come back and they win map number 1. We head into map number 2. EU's Finest showing their resilience. They don't want to go out like that. They tie the series up 1-1. We head into map number 3. Reciprocity early on in the first round. They allocated too many respawns to get the win condition off of time and finds themselves in a hole. And they find themselves down 4-0. Just when it's looking grim. Reciprocity, they find 1 round. They find 2 rounds. They chain together 3 in a row. And in a crazy round 4, you don't think they can do it, but they get it done, and it's 4-4 on the board. Reciprocity looking to bless the tournament right and give us our first 5-0 comeback on land, and they complete the full reverse sweep. Reciprocity gets it done. Next, our final match of day 1. It's prime time. It is Estral versus Mazer. We didn't know what to expect out of these guys coming into this tournament. It's one thing to play well online, it's another to play well on land. Estral puts on a fantastic performance, and they take down Mazer 2-1. Also, as you guys heard on previous episodes, we were having Astro battles at San Diego. Our victors was Letnik and Schmay. They come out on top against all the competition and take home some awesome headsets. Now Saturday kicks off and it is a spicy match to start the day. It is NRG versus Ghost Gaming heading into map number 1. It was Ghost Gaming who came out firing off on Bunker. Even with NRG's backs against the wall and fantastic plays from Mental like the 1v4 clutch we saw, it was Ghost Gaming who still comes out on top. Then we head into map number 2. We've seen NRG in this position time and time again, and they've always been able to get themselves out of it, but this time it was different. Ghost Gaming wanted to make a statement, and yes, they did, giving NRG their first loss of the tournament, but with it being a switch stage, they're not out of it just yet. Now we head into our final switch stage matchup of the day before the championship bracket. Number 2 North American team Reciprocity versus number 2 LATAM team Astral. This matchup was so good, both teams split the series 1-1 and sends us to a map number 3 on Exhibit. Early on, these teams trade off the rounds, but it was Reciprocity who gives Astral a lesson in teamwork in their first loss of the tournament. Reciprocity comes out number 1 in Pool B, and they defeat Astral. Now that the switch stages are over, it is time for the single elimination championship bracket, the first time we've ever had it in Gears history. Let's see how it turned out. Now, the 8 open bracket teams to join the championship bracket: Oxygen Supremacy, Rip Cancers, Glory, Vision, No Mercy, Parallax Gaming, IP, TKX. And we kick off our first main stage match of the bracket. It was TKX versus the new kids on the block across the pond, Rated R. They showed us how they honed their abilities since joining the league, and they take down TKX. Mazer Gaming versus Gods. Gods did not have the best Switch stage results, but they were close, and they brought that energy to Mazer. But Mazer just has risen to a different level, and they blow past Gods 2-0. Astral versus Fire and Ice. Astral utilizing all the lessons in which they learned day 1 in the championship bracket against Fire and Ice. Definitely a grudge match with Reflame and Crack against Choche, but it was Astral who comes out on top. Hive versus Rise. This was a match that got real spicy. Hive, they make it an exciting map 3, going the distance. Rise, they could not get past them. Hive was just too much. Hive takes it 2-1. Now to end Saturday, we had the 2v2 Nashers tournament in the finals. It was Ashen's J Rage versus Funds and J Lobos. In the end, Funds and J Lobos made a statement and let the entire venue know who they were. They come out with the win. Now folks, it is time for Championship Sunday, and this is where dreams come true. You got 8 of the best Gears of War teams in the world left in the bracket. Ghost Gaming versus Hive, Astral versus Simplicity, NRG versus Mazer, and Reciprocity versus Regal. Let's find out who wins. Astral versus Simplicity. Astral, they come out and they cleanly dominate Simplicity with a 10-2 round count, and they sweep them 2-0. Next, Reciprocity versus the last team standing from the European region, Regal Reserve. In Regal, they got a lesson in tough love from the boys of Reciprocity. They come out and they sweep them 2-0. Now, our main stage matches to kick off the day. Ghost Gaming versus Hive. Map 1 Training Grounds, it's a Ghost map pick. But Hive, man, when I tell you Hefe and Tidy were on fire, Hive closes out the map in the 7th round to take map number 1. We move over to map number 2 on District, which was a Hive pick, but in the end, Ghost was just too dominant on District. They take the map 5-2. Now map 3 on Bunker. Hive, they come out and take a commanding lead 3-0. Hive, they take it 5-1, and Ghost Gaming is eliminated. Now for our last quarterfinal matchup, it is NRG versus Mazer. We head into map number 1, Vasgar, as NRG look to get their first trophy in Gears 5. On Vasgar, NRG, their rotations was a little too much for Mazer. They win map number 1 with a decisive 5-2 lead. We head into map number 2, but Mazer on Icebound, showing why they're so talented on this matchup. In Mazer, they get it done and tie up our best of 3 series 1-1. Now we head into map number 3 on Bunker. One of these 2 teams are going home. Mazer, they come out and they can smell blood. But in the end, Mazer, they do the upset. What we thought could not be done, they take down NRG in the quarterfinals, and Mazer shows us what they're all about. Now that our quarterfinals are done, we're moving closer to the big money. And now we're moving from best of 3 to best of 5. It's a Straw versus Hive, Reciprocity versus Mazer. Let's see who's gonna be our champion. It's the Straw versus Hive. Both these teams classified as the dark horses of the tournament by our analysts, and they was right, because they both made it this far. It goes to a nail biter, 4-4, and we get to that round 9, but a Straw closes it out. But the leadership of Adverse and the resilience of the rest of the boys on the Straw, they get it done in 2 back-to-back round 9 maps, and they take a 2-0 lead. Hive, they needed all the energy in the world to possibly reverse sweep this hot fire Straw team, but they could not get it done. Finding themselves too far in the trenches, a Straw takes the momentum and they punch their ticket into the grand finals. Reciprocity versus Mazer, map number 1. Reciprocity wins rounds 1 and 2 in a dominant fashion. They take map number 1 and get closer to your grand finals. Map number 2, Rushies, showing us how talented he is with that drop shot. He picks up a triple kill and Reciprocity secures the map, and we're all tied up in our grand finals 1-1. We go into map number 3. Reciprocity now has Mazer figured out a bit. They take the lead 3-2 and then 4-2. Reciprocity gets 3 rounds in a row and finds themselves at that series point. Reciprocity comes into that map 4, cool, calm, collected, poised, and punch Mazer right in the mouth. They get it done and they make it to the grand finals to face off against a Straw. Now folks, every day, if you was not playing in a 5v5 tournament, we still had side tournaments for you to participate in. Day 1 was 2v2 Astro battles. Day 2 was 2v2 Nashers. And finally, on day 3, we had our first ever free-for-all tournament. In Brazil, they may not have been able to hoist a trophy at their first event in America, but they did take home a chip. And Doge comes out on top and wins the tournament for Brazil, and they take a chip home. We had a crazy Friday, a crazy Saturday, and so far, Championship Sunday has been wild. It is only one matchup left. It's a Straw versus Reciprocity, and it's time to crown a new champion, but most importantly, our first champion of Gears 5. Let's get into it. Map number 1, Reciprocity versus a Straw. Rec wins the first round, but a Straw shocks everyone and comes back to win 4 rounds in a row. They drain Reciprocity's respawn to win map number 1. Now, map number 2, a Straw leads match point. Reciprocity wins the initial but loses their drop shot. From then on, a Straw controls the map and Reciprocity's respawns deplete. A Straw goes up 2-0 in your grand finals, and it's looking like the LATAM region is about to get their first trophy. Map number 3, 1-1 early on, but Reciprocity stays strong and goes up 4-1 and wins the first map of the best of 5, showing us what they're all about. Map 4, Reciprocity sets the pace from the start, with Icy getting 8 eliminations in the row on the Straw's home hill to let him know that this is not gonna be easy. 1-1. Adverse leads the charge to put a Straw up 2-1. We go back and forth to tie it up 3-3. Reciprocity goes up 4-3, and with Icy and Kenny clutching it up in the end, Reciprocity takes map 4 in an incredible comeback to tie up our series 2-2 in the grand finals, and we head on over to a map 5 on exhibit. Rec starts off strong and wins round 1. Rec wins the next to go up 2-0, then 3-0, and it's looking like Reciprocity has this one in the bag. A Straw then goes 2-3, then 3-3. At this point, the crowd goes wild and all Gears fans on the edge of their seats. Adverse then leads the charge and almost saves round 7, but does not have enough ammo. Round 8, Cardiac gets a clutch double. Respawns are depleted for both sides. and then Power snipes down Adverse to make it a 4v5. 4 players for Rec have 0 respawns, but in the final moments, Rec clutches up in the final engagement and takes the map and takes San Diego. Reciprocity wins your first Gears 5 event of the season. All right, guys, as I said before, we got an awesome guest coming on to the show of Gears Unlimited, and it's time to introduce him. Solars, come on over to the couch and let's make it official. Welcome to the show, fam.
What's going on, Blaze? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I told you, win or lose.
You did, man.
You had to come on once you said it, so I'm happy you did come through.
Yeah, it took some willpower, but I mean, I'm here.
You came on to your first event, ESL Season 1. It was your first event ever. Now, I've only seen 2 people in history show up to their first event and win. Number 1 was Ribs in 2009 for Gears 2. And then it was for you at that ESL event. And you were teaming with Mental, Lava, Gilbert?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was that core 3 at that time. How was it, going from, how's the journey been from that first event to now?
Way different. But that first event kind of just kick-started it all and made me who I am today, resilient, and yeah, it's crazy.
Before we headed into San Diego, we had a bunch of changes happen in Escalation. They cut the rounds down from 7 to 5. Yeah. How did NRG feel about those changes going into the event?
We liked the changes. We didn't mind them at all, even though it was, what would you say, like,
Last minute,
yeah, it was last minute, but we didn't mind it. We stuck through it, and we were digging it for the most part.
Who did you feel like was your toughest competition?
Coming into San Diego, I'd probably say Rec, just because online we lost to them 2 times in a row, which never history has ever happened, right? And so it's probably be them, but we were prepared for them, and we were ready to face anyone.
Exactly, because online is online. LAN is an entirely different ball game, and when it comes down to you guys, your roster is so difficult to beat, especially when you guys are comfortable, cool, calm, and collected there. Let's talk about your matchup with Ghost, because that's when you guys lost in those group stages and you guys wasn't expected.
Right.
Can you break that match down for me?
Yeah, so that match versus Ghost, honestly, we weren't moving our feet. We don't know what was going on. We felt like we were hitting our shots. We felt like we were playing good, but we just weren't moving as a group. And it showed. It looked like playing like not to lose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we lost.
Yeah, it was just that, Ghost came out, and at that point in the tournament, I'm pretty sure the NRG fans was like, all right, this is Swiss stage.
We said the same thing.
This is Swiss stage, if it's any time to lose, let's do it right here in this moment. So how was the vibes across the whole team after that loss? What happened?
Well, after the loss versus Ghost, we tried to figure out what went wrong. Gilbert, or Explosive, he was telling us on what we did wrong or what to do better, and we just took it as constructive criticism, and we were going to use it towards the next day.
And then it's Mazer, and this is a team who had won that first online qualifier. Let's talk about that Mazer matchup. What's so special about that roster?
If I could say a couple special things about them, they're very fast-paced, very aggressive, which is a good play style in Gears 5.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
You guys come out and y'all take map number 1. You're looking good, and I'm usually the one saying that if you want to beat NRG or those Optic boys, you got to get the first map. If not, then they're just gonna get too comfortable on you. So you guys did get the first map, but then afterwards you go into the next 2. What happened?
So those last 2 maps were the death of us that whole event. The only maps we lost the whole event were Icebound and Bunker, I believe. And sure, second map was Icebound. And we didn't win.
And what makes Mazer so good at that map? Like early on, they were offsetting you guys off the initials, and they were primarily playing for that B hill. Right. Why didn't you guys kind of want to match them over there?
Well, we said to ourselves, let's just do our thing. Let's play how we play. This whole time online, we were practicing for the up top. Occasionally go to the B, but for the most part, fight the up top. And that whole event, nobody was fighting up top.
So which was kind of surprising too, because having that angle at the trading post room, you can look down onto that B hill if you get somebody in there quickly. But that quick cap on top of the B hill and getting that early 2-1. I guess the timing on that was working better for some teams.
Yeah. That's a good initial, and so we just couldn't transition well, and we got the loss.
It is, and so you move on over to Bunker. Mazer, it's 4-2 down. You know, you got the torque boat for your team. You guys need to win 3 rounds in a row. What's going on through your head?
Personally, through my head, I still felt like we could win. You know, I'm sure my teammates felt the same thing, but it didn't even feel like we were losing, surprisingly, and
didn't feel real
it
until
didn't feel real at all until it happened. And when it did happen, we just sucked it up and just you know.
Yeah, and just went out like champions. You know what I'm saying? You know. So one thing that I want to talk about, because I'm pretty sure this is what all the fans out there want to know as well. When we've seen this optic roster, it's only been two roster changes, right? Well, only one big roster change, and that came after the last time that the core 3 lost in that Vegas event, and that's when they got rid of Icy and Kenny and brought you and Praised on to the team. Now, you guys have not lost since then, okay? Y'all been checking, y'all been racking up these trophies one by one, and now the next losses came in. Make it official on Gears Unlimited. Is NRG making a roster change?
No, of course
no,
not.
We sure?
There's no one else to, you know. Like,
are you still in the group chat?
Of course.
Okay. That was one of the big questions on the community, you know, if the team change was going to happen, because we saw it after every single event.
No, yeah, definitely. That was then, and this is now. You know, we're all mature. We have Ashes in the background to help us, you know, progress on what we need help with. We're all trying to grind the game and just get better individually as a team and all that. So yeah, don't expect no team change for this.
Yeah, this should make you guys stronger.
Yeah, exactly. A loss, you know, you have something to learn from, and we're gonna go ahead and fix that.
It's official. NRG will be in Mexico. After you guys got eliminated, we saw a crazy semifinals. You know, you get High versus Astral, you get Mazer versus Rec. Any surprises in there?
To be honest, no. They went all as planned, in my head at least. Maybe a little bit closer with the Mazer and Rec match.
Yeah.
But for the most part, looked pretty good to me.
Hive, what makes this Hive roster so good? Because we saw them kind of emerge into the scene in Gears 4, and then they come out as a dark horse, and they make it all the way there.
Yeah, Hive, I mean, they remind me of a little bit of like ourselves, you know, going up in the game. They're just all young kids, very talented kids, and they just love to play the game.
Yeah.
And that's what it showed. And
who's the superstar in that roster?
Superstar in that roster, I would have to go with either... Probably Force.
Force?
Yeah, Force.
Yeah, he was turning up.
Yeah.
One map he had about 20 more eliminations than anybody else on his roster, just locked in and focused. And Noe as well, man.
Noe as well, yeah.
Whew, he was just making plays. He looks like a little Powers out there, right? Or Los Solars, we could say, depending on the time frame. You know what I'm saying? So then on the flip end, we talked a little bit about, you know, Mazer when they played you guys. I saw Fran tweet, and he said that this Mazer roster has just grown throughout the entire circuit. Can you contest to that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they stood together this whole way from Gears of War 4 all the way till now, so you can only get better.
Yeah, you definitely can only get better. So now, our grand finals. Reciprocity, Astral. I want to know, I already know how you feel about Reciprocity. You play those guys all the time, right? But on the flip end, Astral came out and they going 2-0.
Yeah.
Are those boys the real deal?
Oh, definitely. They proved themselves this event like no other, and for them to be up 2-0 and just let it barely just slip. I mean, it shows a lot. They still have what it takes, but man, that was crazy.
How does it feel being in those situations where you are down 2-0? You know, what do you, give the Gears players out there tips, like if you're in the trenches like that, 2-0, you have to come back. What's some of the first things you can do? All
right, so when you're down 2-0, you need a good leader, first and foremost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to make the vibes right, everything right, keep your mentality straight. And when you're down 2-0, you just got to buckle up at that point and just
get what you can get during that round.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, when it comes down to, you know, taking fights and running strategies, with your back against the wall, those moments have more pressure on them, right? Rightfully so. But when it comes down to making the right decision, it can be difficult. But at that point, you just got to trust your teammates to make the right decision. And you got to take the fights, because I always said that I would rather lose the tournament fighting rather than sitting back and waiting for my opponent to push me.
And that's how we just lost. So
So our next event coming up is going to be pretty much like the Super Bowl of Gears of War. We're going back to Mexico City. You guys are sticking together. A straw just gets top 2. Reciprocity is looking to go back to back. The stage is getting set up. What are you looking forward to this event, and how are you guys going to be preparing?
To be honest, this event I'm looking forward to the crowd. To be honest, that's a crazy good environment to play with, and ourselves just to get back to our regular scheduled programming. You know, just to look like ourselves. And yeah, that's what I'm most excited for.
You know, the last Mexico City event that you won, you guys were in the losers bracket.
Yeah.
And you guys had to make the comeback against Reciprocity to win twice. And that was a crazy experience. The crowd was behind you. How did that feel?
That felt amazing. That's probably my most memorable moment in gaming. It's crazy. I still think about it to this day.
Solars, it has been such a great day having you on the show, talking, you know, how you guys prepare going into San Diego, the event. I was looking forward towards Mexico. Any shout outs out there that you want to give to the rest of your fans?
Yeah, so shout out to the NRG fam. Sorry we let you down. We promised Mexico to turn up for you guys. Also, shout out to my team. Let's do it. Let's work overtime and let's get it.
Let's work that overtime and get it. Folks, you heard it here first. NRG, they're not breaking up. They're looking to go hoist that trophy in Mexico and take down Reciprocity. Brian, it's been a pleasure as always.
All right, guys. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. Big shout out to Solars for coming on as well, giving us his hot take on San Diego. Head over to gears.gg because Operation 2.0 just dropped, and it's a ton of notes and changes that happen to the game. The one that I like the most is Free For All. I didn't get a chance to play it in San Diego, but you most definitely know I'm playing it now. So hop in the queue, get practiced up. It's been a ton of fun. I appreciate you guys for checking out the show, and I'll see you next time.